Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Meta and one of the richest people on the planet. He developed the best social media apps on the planet, but there's one issue with Mark Zuckerberg. Most of the apps he launched and some of the features on its apps were never his original idea. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg is one of the biggest copycats in the planet, and only a few of his ideas were original. The history of copying ideas goes back to the idea of Facebook, as it wasn't 100% his original idea, and it was mainly inspired by Harvard Connection, which was supposedly meant to be a dating website for Harvard University students at the time. At the beginning, Mark was asked by Tyler Winklevoss, and Vivian Narendra to develop the Harvard Connection. The trio chose Mark Zuckerberg because he was skilled at developing websites and saw him as the perfect person who can get the website done. While working at the early stages of Harvard Connection, Mark came up with the idea of the Facebook because he saw that developing Harvard Connection as a dating website will not be effective, and it will be better if he develops a website where people can meet and talk for any reason and not just dating. Later on, Mark Zuckerberg will abandon Harvard Connection to focus on only the Facebook, and this is how Mark came up with the idea of Facebook, which is not considered to be a 100% original idea from Mark Zuckerberg. Of course, this act didn't go unpunished, as later on, Tyler Winklevoss, and Vivian Narendra accused Zuckerberg of intentionally making them believe he would help them build Harvard Connection, and they managed to get 1.2 million Facebook common shares and $20 million in cash. After Facebook became a well-known social media platform, many new platforms tried to rise and fulfill different needs, and at some point, dating apps like Tinder and Bumble started rising. Mark did not let this go unseen and took action quickly and launched Facebook Dating. It was created to compete directly with Tinder and Bumble and take some of their market share. Years after the launch of Facebook Dating, it didn't seem that it did as well as Mark Zuckerberg expected. The app until now is still unpopular and still has limited availability, and it failed to gain the attention of the general public. So copying dating apps with the same features didn't seem to be enough for Facebook to make a popular dating app. Not every copy fails, as stories were very successful when they were implemented in both Facebook and Instagram. The feature has directly stolen from Snapchat, and it also cribs Snapchat's fun face filters. Later on, the number of daily users of stories only were more than the number of users of Snapchat. In early 2020, TikTok blew up and quickly became one of the largest applications on the internet, and it started to take a big chunk of users from other platforms as everyone started consuming short-form content on the platform. Mark wouldn't let this go unseen as he quickly launched Instagram Reels and offered up $10,000 to creators who will start publishing Reels on Instagram. Mark didn't stop at copying TikTok. He later on started copying a bunch of features from Telegram. WhatsApp Rival was known for its privacy and its features that allowed so much freedom on the app. Features like deleting a message from both parties, editing a message after sending it, sending short videos, end-to-end encryption, and many more features were copied from Telegram and implemented directly into WhatsApp. Now, you might think that it was enough copying, but Mark didn't stop there. Mark Zuckerberg saw the rise of Pinterest and how it was popular in the USA, Canada, and the UK. He decided to launch the Hobby app, which was meant to be a direct competitor of Pinterest. Unfortunately, only 2 months after its launch, Facebook shut down the app because it was not well received by people. Hobby was not only a failed copy that Facebook was forced to shut down, Facebook Neighborhoods was another app that was shut down after its failure. Facebook Neighborhoods was meant to be a clone of Nextdoor, but sadly, it did not do a good job at being one. Leaving Nextdoor aside for now, you might think that Mark was done with copying Snapchat. The answer is no, because just in 2023, Mark Zuckerberg copied Snapchat once again as he cloned Snapchat's My AI chatbot, and he's planning to implement it into both Facebook and Instagram. Earlier this year, Mark Zuckerberg announced Meta Verified, which allows people to verify their accounts for a monthly fee. Mark didn't invent this, but he directly copied it from Twitter once Elon Musk implemented Twitter Blue in the platform. Mark Zuckerberg didn't think copying the verification system from Twitter was enough, as Mark decided to clone the whole of Twitter and call it Threads. It was one of the few cloned apps that had a massive success at its beginning, but later on Threads had a massive drop in daily active users because it didn't meet its users' expectations. As you have seen, this is the full history of Mark Zuckerberg copying features and platforms. We can't say definitely that Mark is a copycat, but we can say that he doesn't like to miss opportunities, and whenever he sees something trending, he quickly tries to develop it and offer it to the Meta user base. Not all of his clones and copies were successful. In fact, most of them failed, but I guess that's the cost of cloning. You have a chance at succeeding and a chance at failing, especially since he didn't innovate something new. He just took what's already succeeded and tried to imitate it. Hopefully in the future, Mark becomes more of an innovator and brings more ideas and stops relying on copying.